So it will be Dr. Deepa Duraiswamy, who is going to be speaking about lessons in servant leadership, professional training, cross-disciplinary learning, and traditional continuity in Śaivāgama-Pāṭaśālā-S. So Deepa ji holds degrees in engineering and management from the University of Pune and IIM Kolkata. Her desire to understand the āgama-s and make them more accessible for a modern audience led to an interdisciplinary PhD on temple management in the āgama-s at the Department of Sanskrit, University of Madras, that is now published as a book by Indic Academy. She has taught the same as an online course on the Indica Courses platform. She hopes to continue exploring this ancient system that seems to be at the core of sanātana dharma in practice. So over to you, Deepa ji. Sorry for the delay.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Jai Mahakal. So happy to be here and to speak on this topic, lessons in servant leadership, professional training, cross-disciplinary learning, and traditional continuity in the Śaivāgama-Pāṭaśālā-S. My co-authors are Bhuvaneshi Shanmugam and Sambhavi Shanmugam. Sambhavi is in the audience, and Bhuvaneshi is here to co-present with me. Before we talk about the Pāṭaśālā-S, specifically, all of you understand Pāṭaśālā-S, but mostly the understanding is about the Veda Pāṭaśālā-S. I'm going to talk about the Āgama-Pāṭaśālā-S today. And before we even go to the Āgama-Pāṭaśālā-S and who goes to them, the ādiśaivas go there to become ādiśaiva ācārya-s. I'd spend a minute talking about the Āgama, Ālaya, and the ādiśaiva interconnectedness for us to get a sense of the context of what we are talking about. So, first of all, Āgama is something similar to the Vedas. For those of you who are hearing it for the first time, the Lord says, Vedāgamau maya proktau lokasrishte pura shive. So, Veda and Āgama they came from me at the beginning of creation. The Lord tells this to Parvati. Shive is Parvati. And Swatiji beautifully gave the number 55 to refer to Panchanan. Panchanan is the five-faced. Therefore, the five faces of Lord Shiva. Why 55? Because 5 into 5 actually, 25 faces. Mahasadashiva Murti has 25 faces because each of the 5 faces has further 5 faces. Ishana Tatpurusha, Aghora Vamadeva, Sadyojata Mukha. And from each of these faces come one Vidya. So, Vaidika, Laukika, ātmārtha, the Kashmir Shaivism, the Kula Tantra, Mantra Marga, which is the Śaivāgama Tantra as we know it, and the Adhyatma Marga. So all the knowledge comes out from the thing. So Agamas are very important because they are the rock bed of most of the practices, the everyday practices. Why do we light a lamp? Why do we do arati? Why do we do kolam? Why do we do utsavam? Why do we do temple worship? Why do we break coconuts? Everything, for everything, most of the practices that we follow, they are one of the core sources of tradition and knowledge. All the Shilpa Shastras, they are interconnected. There's music, there's dance, there's civil science, there's urban planning, there is architecture, design. I'm mentioning this because every time there is so much for experts to study the Agamas and do interdisciplinary research. Now, what do the Agamas talk about? They talk about the parārtha, the Parabrahma, in 5 different forms. Either as Parashiva, Parashakti, Paravasudeva in the Vaikhanasa traditions, Ganapatya is Ganapati, and Kaumara is Subramanya. Today we'll restrict ourselves to the Śaivāgama tradition. Now, the Śaivāgama says Parabrahma is Pati, and the souls are all Pashu. This is Vaidika Shaivism. All the souls are eternal, and we are all Pashu. And what binds us to the world, everything that is not Pati or the Pashu is Pasha. Everything else is Pasha. Pasha means like a rope, a bond, and Pasha is not just Maya, but actually Śaivāgama says, the Śaiva Siddhanta says that there is original covering. The Pashu, which is actually infinite Chaitanya like the Pati, is covered. It becomes Anu, it becomes tiny because of the original covering called the Ānava Mala. That which makes the Pashu into Anu is Ānava. This Ānava Mala is a covering. And along the infinite grace of the pati, the pashu has to, he wants to remove the anava mala, and therefore he adds like soap and water, he adds karma and maya, so that the pashu can, take birth, experience samsara, and work out the anava mala. So the mala are three, the pasha are three. Without going into that, I will say that the entire temple ecosystem is designed to bring this transformation into acceleration. Okay, the ecosystem is centered in the charya, kriya, yoga, jnana. This we know it by many different names, but the āgama-s call it charya, kriya, yoga, jnana. It is a complete lifestyle. Nobody can follow only one path. We all follow all the paths all the time. It's cyclical, and as we progress, somewhere we are there. It's fractal. Now, this is the alaya. The term alaya itself is Shaiva Siddhanta. Pashu, laya, where the pashus go and merge with the Lord. They come out from there. The Shivanyana Bodham actually says, Adi Antam Enmanar Pulavar. He is the beginning because he is the end. The beginning can only come from where it ends because it's cyclical. Okay, now Alaya. Who are the ādiśaiva? So while the world is Brahma Srishti, the ādiśaiva are Shiva Srishti. The Āgama say they are created only to maintain this, the Alaya Parampara. Okay, and this was all over the world, and I'm so happy we are standing here in Ujjain, because I always used to believe that it came to the world. It was taught by Lord Shrikantha to Nandi and all, and then from there to the earthly plane, it came to Rishi Durvasa and to his sons and the Shishya Parampara, and the several mathas were formed. But I thought it was in Kashmir, because most of the texts are available in Kashmir and Nepal and all that, Pashupatinath, and of course here it was spread all over. But I thought the entry point to the world was Kashmir, but it turns out that it was Ujjain. So I'm very happy that we are doing it here. So the ādiśaiva are Shiva Srishti, and their swadharma is paranugraha. Okay, sorry, next. Yes, their swadharma is paranugraha, purely to confer anugraha on the pashu through the pati, through the temple ecosystem. This is called parārtha pūjā, establishing temples where nothing existed, and therefore taking the temple through Vastu Shastra for human habitation. In the name of the Lord, you take that land, then you establish the temple. Cities were formed around it. So this is ancient. These are forces of urbanization centered around the temple. In Tamil, we say, Kovililla Uril Kudirukka Vendam. So many things that we talked about yesterday, the potters, the dancers, the folk artists, the sthapatis, all this is intertwined with the temple under the spiritual leadership of the ācārya. Ekācāryena kartavyam, the pradhana ācārya gives dīkṣā, Shiva dīkṣā to all these people. Only then they can work with the temple. Now they are all Shiva ganas, and they are all the sthala parivaras. They are not workers, they are not staff, they are not, I don't know, all these other terminologies. They are sthala parivara. They are family of the Lord. Okay, and they have so many rights and responsibilities associated with the temple forever. Okay, that is a promise the Acharya makes to the deity. Okay, and he is known by many names, etc., etc. Now, there are several specializations as he studies. Like we have modern specializations. He can go into, he can be Archaka, Vachaka, Alankrita, and so many other. He can teach, then he can specialize. He also becomes Raja Guru, he becomes Kulaguru. There are so many, depending on their capability, interest, etc. And there are so many examples for this. Sorry, just the previous slide. In inscriptions, we find that, the ādiśaiva ācāryas were fated. People gave them, say, in 2 kasu, 2 kasu to light lamps forever, to do abhishekam in my mother's name forever. And then for the whole village, then they knew what is mother's nakshatram, father's nakshatram, mother's nakshatram from this ur, that ur. They knew, so they were an integral part of the families of the village. They were the judges, they were the friends, they were philosophers. Every marriage you had to go to the, one Kovil Gurukul to fix the date. So they were also daivagnyas. They were the first aid people. They knew medicine, and they were doing so. Even the farmers, they used to come and say when to do farming. So they were the repositories of knowledge which they shared. So it was like, take knowledge, give knowledge back. Take knowledge, so it was so that everybody benefited. So that was the whole thing. And there is an inscription which says that in a Rameshwaram temple, the king Raja too, he got his Acharya Jnanashiva to perform a Śaivāgama-s. This is from Professor Alexis Anderson, who's done a lot of work on Siddhanta, saying that a ritual was performed and then the Sri Lankan army was repelled and all that. They were, Ishana Shiva Guru was the guru of Raja. Ishana Shiva Guru, they were Paddhati, they wrote Paddhatis culling from the Agamas in Sanskrit and Tamil, and these Paddhatis are followed in various temples. Even though the Agamas themselves may have been lost, temples follow the agamic principles because the acharyas wrote Paddhatis. So temples which say we don't follow Agama, they have the Paddhatis, okay? So the method, what we've done is we've gone to Pāṭaśālā-S and, studied what they're actually doing there. It's part of a larger project. We are presenting our preliminary learning. Okay, I won't dwell too much on the methodology, but I will, in the interest of time, I'll now hand over to Bhuvaneshi to start sharing our observations. Over to you.
Thank you. We had a whole bunch of observations. Some of the important observations, let us see. Immersive learning. The first design element of this education is the residential learning for the duration of study. Children arrive at the Gurukulam or residence of the Guru when they are 8 years old, up to 15 years, and stay for 6 to 8 years learning the tradition. They go home only for 2 major breaks in a year. They are completely in the environment designed for this knowledge transmission. Next, lifestyle. The students follow a day plan that roughly reflects the lifestyle they would eventually live. Their schedule is closely aligned to the natural sun cycle. They wake up early and sleep by 9 p.m. They practice their anushtanam religiously. They observe the tithi nakshatra of the day and any special requirements for that day, like Amavasya, Purnima, or Pradosha Puja. Next, Mita Ahara. Power of food. We are what we eat. Students eat mild and nourishing food, avoiding overly spicy and fried food as well as packaged junk food. They enjoy occasional fried treats and sweets. But in general, their food is sattvika, conducive to help them focus on their studies. Cooking is done within the Pāṭaśālā. In some schools, the children help with the cooking as well. Next, discipline. Children follow the schedule strictly and are penalized for tardiness. Children don't have access to any external media for strict control over senses, so can focus on knowledge alone. Over to Deepaka.
Thank you. And there are a whole bunch of fun and games as well that we saw. Thank you. Yeah, they play all these. Okay. And the most important thing is the ācārya is the role model. So child development theories, so many Western theories also say that children learn by imitation, language is learned by imitation, and therefore they have a very strong role model in the form of the Guru and the Guru Patni, who live really sort of humble, very down-to-earth lifestyles. They see them dedicated to the children. They see them, there's another point that will come later, but they don't accept money. Most of these schools are free. And they probably, whichever parents can afford, they come and give groceries or something like that. So there is no fees, school fees. So and they see the ācārya following the anushtana, and they see the ācārya, teaching them, or how they talk with other people, how they talk with the elders, and things like that. Okay. Sorry, could you go back to Geared to be a Guru? Yeah. So from an early age, sorry, my thing is. Yeah, from an early age, I think we saw this earlier also, the whole mentoring system. The older children teach the younger children, and from the beginning, they know what it is like to take responsibility for somebody else to teach, okay? And it is seniority is by their learning and not by age. And next one, please. Memory is a really important point. So there is this condescension towards rote learning, but actually, and there have been modern studies as well which says that, those who do this rote memorization or chanting back, etc., how the cortex develops, or how it, goes in, how they're able to recollect and things like that. And a very important part of the thing is to be able to chant from memory. And this is very important because as an engineer, I'm very ashamed to say I don't remember anything of what I learned in my first year of engineering or in my 8th, 9th standard science or physics, except for, 1 or 2 things. But these kids, they do like Pulyar Puja, Ganesha Puja on day 1. They have to carry that forward till they are 80, 90. It's not something they can forget. The option, there is no, multiple choice question or whatever. You can't leave Ganesha and catch Subramanya, or you can't say, oh, I only know Ambal, I don't know, Shiva. You have to, you experience everything. So this is not for answering questions. This is their own life. So, and then they practice it every day. Even as they are learning, they perform. So the Pradosha Puja, so the day we landed here was Pradosham, right, on Thursday. So in the Pāṭaśālā, the children would organize the Pradosha Puja just as if they were in a temple. And all the other puja, Amavasya Puja, Paurnami, special Devi Archana, Sahasranam, whatever happens at the temple, they do there. And they are also called by other temples to help with, the big Chandi Homam happening. Some 100 students from different Pāṭaśālā will go there. So just to chant. And they will also see how it is being performed. They see the seniors and learn. Okay, and the curriculum is... did we cover the... the curriculum is multifaceted because, yes, they learn the āgama-s, but they also learn the Vedas because the Vedas are part of the Upachara. They learn music, it's part of the Upachara. They learn Dravida Stotra, Devaram, teachers come and teach them. Veda master comes and teaches them. So they learn from diverse sources. They take them as guru and they learn from diverse sources and they go back to their village and give this back to diverse sources. So this is a beautiful system. And then they also have to compensate for team members. So today they're supposed to be Archaka, Vachaka, Alankrita, etc. Tomorrow he is the only person in the village temple. He will do the work of everybody, including washing and cooking and taking the water, everything he does. So they are like one-man army and they continuously also are trained to do service to the local communities. Wherever the Pāṭaśālā is, they go serve at the Grama Devata temple, they go work at the Utsavas, etc. The whole ecosystem is so amazing. I can't imagine as a student getting access to like a Nobel Prize winner or somebody who's really great in my field. It's very difficult because our system outside is hierarchical. Here you have great gurus, ācārya-s visiting the various Pāṭaśālās for their anugraha bhashana. And whenever they come, they use that opportunity to learn. Like, for example, our Sakla Shastra Parangata Acharya ji is here, Shastri ji is here. We should actually, request him to say, sir, we are here, we are with you. Can you please teach us something? That is actually what the Pāṭaśālā students will do. They will use every opportunity to learn from someone senior who visits because it's very important to get mantra. And when you get a mantra and you do siddhi, it increases your spiritual power. And for them, it was all about raising their tapas. Okay, and you see, this is from the Sri Sri Gurukulam. Sri Sri ji is so accessible to the students. This is in Bangalore, Pāṭaśālā. Kanchi Acharya ji, they've established, the Allur Pāṭaśālā. Actually, they restarted after many years. And he's also very close to, the Śaivācārya. This is the Hawaii Swamiji when he came. He's at the Sri Sri Gurukulam. And, the children met him. And it's very inspiring. Incidentally, the machine, etc., we talked about Hawaii. Adinam is actually, they've just consecrated a temple that took them 33 years to build. They used traditional sthapatis from Karnataka, no machinery, all handmade. They got families to go and settle there and all handmade. Just to recreate what it would have been like, so many years ago. And of course, community living. They take responsibility with organizing events. So, and very interesting thing is the groups are very small. This is a very small example, this particular Pāṭaśālā. The max is probably 100. So our schools are like, A section, B section up to, 26 letters are not enough. So we lose their identity, but they're very small. They, very personal relationships that are being formed. Non-commercial, I already told you. Because, this is the last observation, because this is all about the Guru Parampara and the Shaiva Siddhanta, especially our land is known for Guru Parampara, but Shaiva Siddhanta especially says that you can only attain moksha through the Guru because Shiva comes to you as Guru. He is there everywhere, but Guru Vadivagi Kuvalayam Tannil. He comes to you as the Guru. So the Guru himself may be faulty, but Shiva will come and he will reach you through whatever faulty instrument. So the Guru is important. Whoever be your Guru, the Guru is important. And there are different kinds of Guru. There are Mantra Guru, Vidya Guru, dīkṣā Guru, different types of Guru. All these Gurus are important. And therefore, this is not something that you can buy for money. So money is completely taken out of the picture. 1 or 2 Pāṭaśālas, there is some 3,000 rupees in a year or something, just, because they want to create, now they want to create some kind of, okay, don't take this very easily. People come from all over, really poor families. Only one, child in one village temple, they send them to the Pāṭaśāla. He has to go back and serve at the temple. No matter how qualified, how accomplished, how great his knowledge is, he has to go back and serve at the temple. I'm thinking of all the doctors who spend crores of rupees coming and learning. Do they go back to their villages and serve at the villages? This is why our paper is titled Servant Leadership, because we want to understand this phenomenon further. And from so many people, we've heard all these community fights that happen. This community is fighting with this community. Who is the leader in the village? My land is bigger than your land. All these, they're saying, sir, what the problem is? All these Gurukul have been driven out of the village. Our village temple does not have a Gurukul now. Till the time we had the Gurukul Ayya, we would all go to him. He will somehow make peace. During the Utsava, who should get the first Malai? He will somehow figure out, he will mediate. He was the Madhyastha. So many roles they played. So, the role is not very tiny. It's not replaceable.
2 minutes more. 2 minutes.
2 minutes more. Okay. So this is our last slide. We just want to sum up. Again, this is an ongoing project. So whatever we can sum up now, I think the most important thing that we have found is something that has already been discussed here, which is number one, this is organic learning. Learning is not something like, okay, this is my actual life. This is something that I go to school, I just do something, I have to turn in my project, I have to take some exam. Acha, wait till 10th, your board exam's over. Wait till 12th, khatam. It's like done and dusted. It's never done and dusted. So the idea that your education is actually your self-development and it's a lifelong process. Number two, humility, like, somebody was saying intellectual humility. Absolutely. Without that, nothing is possible. We are missing that today. It will not go in. Knowledge is not something. Then it will be a coat. The shirt that you remove, whenever is required, exam purpose, put it on, put it off. It will not be internal. It will not be transformative, which is real knowledge, vidya, as Sir was saying. Number three, surrender. Don't think about, oh, I have paid 60,000 rupees. This ma'am taking all the lessons. 2 chapters have been left. I don't care. My guru can't speak properly. He is, he doesn't talk to me properly. He differentiates between this child and this. I don't care. It's not that I'm not allowed to. I know that my Sharanagati is my way to Shiva, no matter who the person in front of me. Therefore, devotion to it's not respect. It's the bhakti. And this bhakti is actually the Deva bhakti, which translates to Guru bhakti. That is the only way to gain real knowledge. So definitely not buying education, and the sense of gratitude that you are blessing me with this knowledge. And I have to be the Sat Patram, the Patrata to receive. Not like I demand, saying, sir, why have you not given me my marks? So whether the Abhinaya is right or wrong, like Sir was saying. Of course, all the other things, it's lifelong learning, they teach, etc. So finally, it is their Swadharma. And we need to preserve this tradition. We need to preserve these children. And these children who learn like this, they have been protecting this tradition for thousands of years without any ego. I would like to submit that these children for thousands of years have been the reason why the āgama-s survive till today, why the temple tradition survives till today. The manuscripts are available to us today, and it is our duty to protect them. Today, there are 6-month certificate courses which the government is trying to introduce in Tamil Nadu. 1-year certificate courses where they randomly get people. They say, do this 1-year Agama course. Now I will give you Archaka appointment in a temple. It is not a job. They are not doing a job. During floods, during COVID, during whatever, there are no holidays. They go to the temple every day because there is no other life for them. That is their master, that is their father. The Devata is their everything. They cook food at home and go and do Naivedyam in so many temples. The only thing that we are able to see is the top 10, 20 temples. Oh my God, the priests, this is too crowded. People want money. But 40,000 temples in Tamil Nadu and so many millions of temples all over, they are spiritual antenna for Bharata. Bharata is Bharata. It is Bharata, showing light to the world because of these spiritual antenna. And all our priests, ādiśaiva, the entire Sthala Parivara, the people who dedicate not just their lives, but the lives of their generations after them for thousands of years, is because they have dedicated themselves, and we need to not just respect that, but we need to make sure that we don't mess with it and at least, allow them to carry it forward, is my humble submission. Vande Mataram. Jai Hind, Jai Mahakal. Thank you so much, sir, ma'am, for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was an amazing, impassioned talk. Please be there. There might be questions. Oh, yes, questions. Whom did I think I saw Finalji first. Just a second. It won't be recorded.
You really did, first of all, a very good presentation. You went through so many Pāṭaśālas and took so much efforts, really commendable. So what I just want to understand is, in your observations when you visited Pāṭaśāla, how do you, yes, you already covered it, that you are learning at the feet of the Guru. But how does every Pāṭaśāla in itself able to cater to the holistic aspects? Because we talk about 18 soul vidya and 64 kala, right? So the
sorry,
we
what?
talk about 64
yes.
and 16 types of knowledge vidyas. So like one Pāṭaśāla, right? Is it able to cater to all those things? For example, there are so many children, right?
Yes.
And every children will want to learn, somebody wants to learn so many things. Yesterday when he was covering, right? So many shastras are there.
Yes.
So like for everyone may not be go into deep of each and everything, right?
Yes.
So how is every Pāṭaśāla is able to meet up with so much two parts? Number one, with so many diverse knowledge stream, vidyas and kala, and second thing also to personalized need. For example, I want to learn yoga, he wants to learn Sankhya, somebody wants to learn Vedanta. So how these both things are taken care? If you, based on your observation, if you can highlight.
Sure, sir. So actually, what we have today is, by the grace of God, kind of a resuscitation of the Pāṭaśāla system, because some of the gurus were there and they've sort of, the Kanchi Acharya set up a Pāṭaśāla in Allur. Shri has set up a Pāṭaśāla within the Art of Living campus in Bangalore, and people are setting up Pāṭaśālas in their own homes. So there is formal, semi-formal, completely informal home system, etc. So therefore, the system has been preserved. So what used to happen, like at least 150 years ago, I know from the 19th century we have records that there were great ācārya-s who were Sakalagama Paranga people who knew music and who could sing Devaram and who could do everything. Like you're saying, there were mathematics, science. I have seen in old trunk petis, I have seen like test tubes of mercury. Now what is a Koil temple Gurukul doing with test tubes of mercury? Don't know. And they say that Tata used to do something, some Kollu Tata used to do something, but we don't know. We have lost all that. So we are not just using these words lightly when we say that, they were experts in many different shastras, because they consciously tried to become experts in many. Only those were considered seats of learning, the larger Pāṭaśālas. But some of the smaller ones, they said, okay, this is what I need for the temple. So much is enough. But even they learned from musicians, they learned from the, Odua Murtigal, they learned from different experts. So they did not, the knowledge was not restricted to only what was available with the Guru. The Guru actively encouraged, there was no competition or insecurity. The Guru encouraged the Shishya. There are cases where the Guru would say, go and live with that Guru for 1 year. Do seva for that Guru for 1 year. Because he knows that Guru has a very special mantra. He won't randomly give it out. Go do seva to that Guru. And the child won't know, why am I being sent all over? And you go to Kumbhabhishekams with that Guru, you do service for the... Suddenly, one fine day, during some random walk, he will get that mantra. It could be any time. And these are, it's not just apocryphal. They've actually happened and we have, heard about it. So that is one thing. So they actively sought out. Number two, personal, ichha to learn this, learn that, my vasana. All of them are ādiśaiva children. Of course, they taught other people. A lot of people came to them for Siddhanta. I have seen people coming and learning the Shastra, coming and learning the Shaiva Siddhanta. Everybody in the village came to learn. But the Agama, for doing parārtha pūjā, the actual Pāṭaśāla ran for the Agama, for the ādiśaiva students. Now, depending on their interest, they could specialize in many things. So I am interested in doing Archana, so they could just do Archana. And I'm interested in studying the āgama-s further. So they went on and studied for a few more years, So those are the people who went and learned Sanskrit and Tamil, and they translated, they did comparison of like Aghora Śaivācārya or Arunandi Śaivācārya, or they wrote commentaries on Paddhatis, that kind of thing. So and they were alankritas, so they're very artistically inclined. So they could focus on only, because they're alankara experts, they just go to temple by temple and they do alankara. And they are like spiritual people who've done siddhi of many mantras. They become the pradhana, like the sadhakas. Like when the Kumbhabhishekam happens, they are invited. The Agama says the king has to search, and the pradhana acharya should search for people like that and bring them, so that they are made to sit in the Homakunda during the Kumbhabhisheka, because they are able to invite the energy faster because of their tapas. So different people, whatever their interest is, they are encouraged to pursue. They sing. I know so many acharyas who sing very well. They do talam, Ganapati talam, etc. And so they teach like the Rudra Kanya. You could say like the little bit of everything, so that they can transmit that knowledge, but they can't deviate too much from, it's like I can't go out and give performances, because ultimately I have to come back to the temple. That is their swadharma, they know that. So within that, they get the opportunity to learn many, many, many things. Medicine, this Natavaidyam, they have a whole bunch. In Pambakadi, mantra siddhi for, I have heard this Garuda mantra japam and all that. A lot of people, would have heard. So there is definitely opportunity to pursue your personal thing as well. Yes, ma'am.
Very interesting. Congratulations to both of you, as well as you, for a wonderful, survey and looking into the Agama text so intricately. I'm just, I didn't get why the name servant leadership in your title.
Okay, because that is one of the, yes, sir. One sentence, because that's the in thing today. As I'm a marketer, like from the management angle, that's what we're all taught. You have to be servant leaders now, as if it's some new thing that, the West has discovered. Leaders have to be servant leaders. So I'm saying, our tradition already, so leaders automatically mean servant leaders in our tradition. So that was the...
That was delightful, Deepaji, as always. My question is about the language, especially in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Archanai Seyapadum. How does, there is a pedagogy which is preserving the sanctity of the Sannidhi. How does this shift of language, and therefore, there is a Dravida Ganam which is offered as Upachara, but there is also, there is a Veda tradition, there is a Sahasranama tradition.
Yes.
And I think this is leading to a lot of messing up of the sanctity. What do you think about this?
Yes, I hear what you mean. So basically, it's very illogical. It's what is there right in front of you, you're not able to see, then how do you make the person? I mean, you can even explain to those who are blind, but those who don't want to see, how do you explain to them? I think what we understand is that the general consensus is, acha, we are trying to tell you that this is the way it is, but if you still want to, fine. If you want to do Tamil Archana, it's not like the God is not going to listen to you. All we are saying is this is multi-layered, and this is not just the meaning, but the nada, the sound, etc. But in many places, they are saying, please do. We are happy to do Tamil Archana as well. So in many times, you just have to avoid that small battle and just go on with life, because to avoid other ramifications. But our personal view and the Acharya's view is that it's illogical. It doesn't make sense. Not because Tamil is lower, Sanskrit higher, lower, etc. It just, in the scheme of things, this is to establish this is a mathematical formula, and this is like beautiful poetry. And if I want to praise you, I'm not going to say, A plus B, the whole square is equal to. But if I have to construct a design, I will use A, B, C, D, etc. There I can't sing the drawing into being. So, yeah, long answer.
Adinams helping out in this mediation?
Sorry?
Are the Adinams sort of mediating this problem?
They are not really mediating. Some are supportive, some are not. So either they silently support, because some of the temples belong to the Adinams. They've always been a huge support. The tradition has grown. It's it's like a symbiotic this thing. But not all the time they can be vocal with their support. That is my point.
We should stop here, and then we should go on to the next session. Thank you. Again, a round of applause. Amazing. It was very, very...